Yay, we beat it! So sorry
Yay.
about that, guys. We had a little trouble just there. Little technical issues that required a Google search in order to fix, of all things. So, a lot going on at the moment. But welcome once again to Sentai Wrap Up. Once again, we're going full power non-stop.
Ah, yeah.
Join with me as always is my good pal Mark. How you doing,
Oh,
Mark?
I'm not too bad, Bryn. How are you doing after this fine technological day?
Oh, yeah, it's always good when technology just makes you fight to get it working, but other than that, I'm
Oh,
good. Unfortunately, my partner went to hospital last night, which is why I wasn't able to do the show yesterday.
mm,
Had to visit her as well, which is why I delayed the show today. But hopefully, everything should be fine from now on. Now she's getting
yeah.
proper care and everything. But yeah, it's also a little bit extra worrying because obviously my partner is also pregnant with our daughter, so it's one of those things. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's get past that. Let's get back onto Super Sentai because as always, Henshin's here bringing that
Yeah.
Super Sentai hype. Right, so yeah,
Full power and Sentai hype.
yes, that's why they call me Henshin. No, it's not. I'm just like I just like calling myself that. So, in this particular episode today, we're talking about something that's linked to episode 18, which is what is your favorite character in Super Sentai so far? Now, a lot of people can really throw out all of their answers at this because loads of different people really like have different characters that they really appealed to them more, or even perhaps just like you could just see them as being either your future wife, as
Yeah.
Heirloom's put out multiple times about characters, or even
Flint, Majin,
or
Gokai
even
Pink.
yeah, or even just someone you think is very unique and awesome. So yeah, it'd be great to hear what you guys actually say is your favorite character. Mark, what exactly is yours?
I don't really have a favorite character because I haven't watched enough Super Sentai to be like, I like this character a lot.
Yeah.
If we're talking about who I would marry, the top three at the moment would be Flint, Majin, or Gokai Pink.
Oh yeah. So funny.
How how about you?
Uh,
Who would you, if you had the chance to marry a Sentai lady, who would you choose if you were single, of course?
um, I don't know. That is a really tough one. I don't really relate to them in that way. I honestly see each of those characters as like family more than I do as potential romances. Like it's the same thing with the Ranger fandom as well. Because obviously when I was a kid, you have your fancies and whatnot. Um, Although what I will say is my favorite ever character has got to be Guy from Gokaiger because he's the first time when an actual Super Sentai fan in that world becomes a ranger,
Mm.
and I think that makes him so unique and so special. That's why I like him so much. Oh, Richard has just put in. Oh, hi Richard. We also see we had Thomas there as well. Hi Thomas. Um, Robo Knight, Go Kaija. Oh yeah, Go Say Knight. Yeah, yeah, he pretty demos them. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different characters in Super Sentai that really stand out. Like I say like my second close to first favorite is probably actually Right from
Yeah.
Tokyuja. I just love his attitude and it's kind of how I want to be. But I think uh, Zenkaiser's kind of taking over that a bit, and I'm like, yeah, I want to be him.
Yeah.
If I could, like, is there a particular Zenkaiser character that you would see yourself as, by any chance, Mark?
No, I actually cannot think of if I would be anyone at the moment. Um, but I would marry Flint and Majin straight away.
Oh, Richard also put down definitely Chameleon Green from Q Ranger. Yeah, there's a lot of different variation in Q Ranger. I love the duo from that. Where you had Terrabin Gold and you know, uh, Cobra Silver. I can't remember the Japanese word for that. I think it was like Hebetsu or something. Very long name that I can't remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Silver Ranger and Gold Ranger were really awesome duo because you had the really sort of like over emotive one like I am, and then you've got the sort of like calm, collect, and yeah, at the same time emotionless Silver, which is not you, Mark, but I should say for the for this instance, I'm the hyper one. You're the calm and collect and the cool one. So,
I just start singing and dancing. Yahoy, 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 hoy.
yeah, I mean, like, I think Gokaiges is probably significant to everyone. I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
people say that Captain Marvelous is generally their favorite, but then you've got to consider people like Lupin Red. Like his particular character was generally awesome. I thought he stood out quite a
Mm.
lot. Um, like Luca from Gokaiger is definitely one of the most significant in that one because of her attitude and yeah, her anti-hero and her emotions. Like they all have quirks, some of them, you know. And she
Yeah.
has this thing where she's like spinning her sword or spinning her arm, getting ready or something, and loosening up. I love that. I love the
Bit
little
of
quirks
exercise.
in people, yeah. Or even,
But it,
how Don from Gokaiger obviously, when he's doing the thing, he sort of puts his arms on his legs and just rubs them, and
so
you never question it. You never question it. And at the very end of Gokaiger, um, his key is somehow taken and used against him, and he's doing that as
he's
if
doing the
he's
rub legs.
yeah, and he's like, "Why are you warming your hands?" I'm like, "Wait, that's what you do."
As me and my friends used to put up, he was sexually frustrated Green Ranger. Constantly, I need to rub my legs.
Yeah, there is so many. Like I think everyone generally loves Bry from you know, oh, Ranger. Like
Yeah.
I mean like he's the Super Sentai Tommy. So, but like
God damn him.
yeah, I mean there's just so many. There is so many. Like off the top of my head, you can. Everyone loves all of the SBDs. Well, the Deca Ranger squad. They all were very significant, especially after the 10 years movie they did. Proved that.
Mm.
Then I've also got some of the earlier stuff. Like I think it's the same name guy, Jetman, who are sort of like sister show retro Sentai wrap up have just sort of like come to
Yeah.
the end of doing that particular series, and he is such a significant individual, and you'll never see anyone like that again. He's so unique. Which they definitely pointed out in that show.
Mm.
So if you haven't seen that,
So,
I definitely give it a go.
see, Richard says he wants to be the Zords. He wants that. He says, "Oh, oh, oh! I'd be Caesar Dragon, the Dragon Zord."
Yeah, yeah. They're like even the Zords themselves are brilliant characters. Um, but I think the sort of like side characters are definitely a lot more significant in this than they are. Like they're
Mm.
from Gokaiger. Obviously, you have that bird, and the similar thing. Obviously, you've got Sek-chan in our Zenkaiger. And the cool thing about those two is they're really sort of, although they do not appear in multiple seasons of Zenkaiger, they are so significant that they're really sort of put in as like they're a Ranger equivalent of Alpha 5. I think that's what they're
Mm.
kind of coming off as because they have such unique and cute little gimmicks to them, and I love it. I mean, there are previous Sentais, obviously, that they have those little like, mascot sort of allies, and they seem to be mostly magic. It's a weird thing about
Yeah.
it. Like Car Ranger and some of the other ones in the past, they kind of go like the magic route, which is kind of weird for
Mm.
a Sentai like that. But yeah, I think side characters in terms of who are the best. I think Sek-chan and that bird from Goku. I can never remember.
Navi. Navi.
Navi, of course. I cannot forget Navi. Damn it, I'm gonna be kicking myself for days, I'm sure. But yeah, I think those are like really outstanding characters.
Mm.
As for like who I thought was the weirdest character though, like my favorite weird character, it's got to be Tokyo uh, 5 because like she's definitely supposed to be portraying a child, but she's also the one
Yeah.
that portrays the child the most out of all the others. Like she is
Yeah.
honestly like she's portraying a 4-year-old more than anything else. It's really really weird, but it is it does make her a unique character that stands out amongst the
Yeah.
others. I think that's why she sort of had that appearance in that hero get well no, not sorry hero get to the like the civil war of Super Sentai.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like yeah, just before obviously they had that between Soldier and Kira Major, and I do think that was so bizarre that they did that because it was just out of nowhere, like a really strong season, Soldier. That must have been the only thing they can think of to follow it off with, rather than go straight on to the
Mm.
next season. But maybe things were just aligned. In a way, it's really good thing they didn't do that between Kira Major and Zenkaiger. Otherwise, that would have went out the window when COVID hit. That's what I'm glad about. But
Yeah.
fortunately, we did manage to get that in that time frame just in time.
Mm. See, I found one weird character. He's not a ranger or anything, but it's Gialastio or something. He was in Gokaiger, and he was the one that wanted the female to be in love with him, and then he was everywhere. And
Oh
then
yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he had a thing for that. Oh, what's the name? The one like the villain names always escape me because you don't say them enough. Like I can remember Barashatara, um, Bakaros and stuff like that because we're constantly bringing them up in this show.
mm,
But I don't know if it's the same for all you guys at home. But whenever I always see characters in both Super Sentai or even in anime, if I don't say their names out loud, I honestly forget them.
oh, you need to go back over Gokaiger and learn all their goddamn names.
Yeah, but
Um,
I love
it
Navi,
was
I love Doc, I love Marvelous. I love even how Hyperforce's Marv was kind of named after him as well. You know,
mm,
using that name, I thought that was really, really, really cool.
uh,
Um,
it, it's Insran. It was I can't even
yeah,
say her name.
yeah,
But that was the one that you loved. But he popped up in he's on Gokaiger,
yeah.
Gokaiger versus Gavin, Go Buster versus Gokaiger. Then he was in Zooja, and then he was in Cocker Ranger. So he's
Mm,
been in quite a few, and I quite like this because it's just like he's the person that always comes back the most. So I'm just like, yeah.
yeah. What's the you know Zhuo Lion? I really loved his character the most. Like I never seen a Japanese guy in dreads before. Like I that blew my mind. I don't know why,
Mm,
but I really loved his attitude and even how him and Seela sort of like clashed because of his loud voice, and she's just like
yeah.
losing it on the floor, which is kind of a weird thing to have in a Super Sentai because it's yeah. But honestly, I honestly think I think having really strong characters is one thing, but having
Mm,
characters that connect to each other in that way and
yeah.
making their personas combine and causing these unique moments does make people think that if it wasn't for those things, it probably wouldn't be a favorite character. Which
Yeah.
I think that's what Captain Marvelous is why everyone loves him so much because of those
Mm.
interactions with other characters. Like I don't care, boom, like it's if he was on his own, he wouldn't stand out as much
Yeah.
because he interacts with people in a way that makes him stand out. I think that's what makes him unique. So
Yeah. Well, Marvelous has always been that sort of character that it's his way or the highway, basically. Like he's not gonna stick about
yeah,
for someone to make a
exactly.
decision.
Yeah,
He already knows what he wants, so he's gonna go for it.
yeah. Then again, you have characters like uh Aka Ninja from Ninjas, and even if there's no one else with him, always is the character you sort of see. Captain Marvelous is just struggling, but then
Mm.
you got Aka Ninja, it's like yes, go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's different quality. What do you think makes the best sort of characters in Super Sentai, Mark?
I don't really know because I think you need to have a balance between serious like Marvelous and then say like Kaito
Yeah,
from Zenkaiger. Like there has to be a balance because either Sentai goes to the point where it's too serious, so that's how the character's got to be. But then if it's too silly, it doesn't work at the same time. And I'm
yeah,
just like, So I like a balance. Like if they made another character and he was just kind of he could be silly and serious at the same time, maybe just not a like normal character. I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very hard balance for me.
See, I've always liked the sort of like over energetic characters. I think
Mm,
that's because I'm kind of over energetic myself.
yeah.
Or actually, it could be either way because I never really was that well spoken when I was younger.
Mm,
So maybe over time, obviously Power Rangers leading on to Super Sentai, then moving on to anime, maybe that's probably affected me over time. But
yeah.
there's no way to say for sure, really. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's. How about Yoshi Starso in Ninja? Yeah, yeah. He made a short appearance, didn't he? Yeah, I kind of wish that happened more. I know it's
Mm,
stupid. I know it's a weird thing to kind of desire, but I just think that both Power Rangers and Super Sentai are so big. It's just weird to think that they're so isolated from each other that they don't mingle. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, too bad, really. I mean, if there was ever a Ranger, like I don't know, 30 years movie. I can imagine Power Ranger actors appearing in that because of the interactions they've had with them at Power Morphicons. So that could happen.
I don't know. Like, I think for obviously for Yoshi when he went across, I think that he really kind of went and asked because I think he'd already done work for
Yeah,
Toei and stuff like that, so it's more easier. I know Mac from Operation Overdrive. He went over when they were filming Go Onja,
yeah,
but I don't know if like say the actors like I couldn't imagine say the guy who plays Red Jew Ranger
yeah.
turning around to Toei and going, "Hey, not really spoken to you for a long time. Do you mind we get the Red Ranger from this one in?" But then would the other Rangers want to be in Super Sentai at the same time? I think that's kind of a thing at the same time.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Um, but yeah, I suppose it's kind of unlikely they'll be in the similar locations because I imagine, I mean, especially now, I imagine Hasbro and Toei have their separate filming locations.
Yeah.
Or at least it's in a matter of bookings. So it's very unlikely that they would ever cross paths as much. Um, but, who's to say? I mean, it's great that Yoshi did that. What I
Mm.
love about that particular moment, though, is obviously the following year his brother then was announced to be the Blue
Yeah.
Ranger of that season, which is I think
Yeah.
is ironic as hell because he basically it was like the answer was staring him in the face before it even happened. I love that so much. And the cool thing is they didn't even I mean they could have reused that footage but they didn't. But
Yeah, it's such a weird thing that they didn't like out of every piece of footage, like that is absolutely 100% perfect because he looked like Coda as well.
yeah.
So I'm going to quickly have a look. I'm sure he looked exactly like Coda, so it wouldn't be, oh, he has short hair.
Mm.
Um,
But yeah, before we get on to anything else, let's move on to the little thing that we wanted to talk about before we go on to the episode review. So, me and you, we talked, didn't we, Mark? And
yeah,
we were looking through random stuff, looking at as much as we could about Super Zenkaiser. And one thing I clocked onto, which I instantly shared with Erilum, is there is a little something to the toy that I think escaped probably some people's eyes. So
mm,
let's go on to the image and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So for the toy, there was a particular video that they showed when they were demonstrating the Super Zenkaiser toy for the mecha. Now,
mm,
I don't know if it's that clear in this particular image. Um, However, if you look really closely, you should be able to see that on the back of our Super Zen Kaiser, as they
yeah,
transform him in, because they do these toy reviews now on the actual official websites, and you might want to zoom in a little bit, but you will see right on the back there the perfect setup for the other um, Zenkaiyo Zords to combine onto
mm.
it. Now, you can see by the teeth along the actual back. So, do you agree, Erlem, that this actually is going to be a possibility in the future where you can combine them that way?
Probably only on two things. one, if the head turns round, or two, if his feet can turn around. Hang on. Let me grab someone for you.
Yeah. So I know that on the front you've got just behind the sort of huge chest plate that is represented for that particular Dragon Zord. There is a little side bit here that you can just barely see, which is similar to the two side bits that go along the actual Zenkaiger mecha. Now I believe Adam's got one of the actual. Have you got Zenkaiger there, Mark?
I've got Thingamabob. I've got Vroom. So obviously he's part of it.
Yeah.
Got to figure out how he transforms.
So obviously,
it's been a while.
Yeah. So obviously, with the alignment of the parts that are on this, it's. I mean, I think it's the same from back and front. So depending on how the thing twists, it's probably either going to be a Galwan combined, so it'll either go with Galwan and Majin, or it is going to have like a little head secretly behind Super Zenkaiser and allow for Vroon as Mark Scott, or even Juran. I love that music.
Yeah, he does change. I just can't. As he drops off. Oh, I hate it. So, how do you stop it?
I think you need to put a little tab in. But yeah,
I think there's a way of doing it. Oh, hang on, that's it. There we go. Oh no, he's sped up. God damn it. Right, hang on, I've got to think to it. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. So it could possibly, because I don't know if you can see it on stream. I can't see it through Skype. Hang on.
Yeah, if you rotate it towards us as if we're facing him, then you should be able to see the teeth, which are similar. So yeah, rotate it just a 90-degree angle. There we go. So yeah, those are the same teeth that are on the back of Super Zenkaiser. Now that can only mean that this actually allows a combination to be made with the other mechas. I can't imagine it being anything like the others, where it's like a new Zord can combine the others all together. However, because of the gimmick they seem to have with Zenkaiger, it makes sense that they'll be able to do different halves with Super Zenkaiger. Sorry, Super Zenkaiser. So yeah.
See, I would wholly imagine that he would. I think maybe he'd have another one.
Yeah.
Please don't stop going on.
So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think he has to have another one because it just feels a bit weird. It depends on how he kind of combines with.
Yes.
But I guess we won't know until the end of this month, starting next year.
Exactly.
Start of next month.
So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Whoever gets this figure first, do let me know. Me and Mark would be so happy to find out if we're actually right. By looks of things, we probably are, but we'll have to wait and see. So, as for next week's episode, we know that the actual new debut is Super Zenkaiser. So, having a look at how he is in the show right here, it so looks good. It looks amazing. I mean, the toy is one thing, but seeing it in this live-action show is another, and I love that weapon. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, he's off again. He's off again. There you go. I'll fix him later.
So obviously, yeah. So looking forward to this next episode is probably going to be the best part of this little segment of Zenkaiger, because most of the episodes at the moment seem to be fillers, like this episode that we're going to be talking about in a moment. But you can see how brilliant the weapon looks, how awesome that armor is. Do you think there's going to be any other representation in this particular show, Erlem? Or do you think we've only getting Time Ranger and Ranger for power-ups?
I think representation of the others. I think it will literally. It's how the add-on works, because it incorporates all the dinosaurs and stuff like that together. So I feel like you're going to see quite a few of it. So you'll see the Abba Ranger part, you'll see the Dragon Caesar, you'll see the Q-Rex, you'll see how Rear Soldier it is, because obviously when it spins round, that's obviously representing Rear Soldier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get quite a bit, and I feel like it's going to be like a really kind of cool thing.
Oh, I know, Richard just posted, I just bought that Q-Rex Dragonzord combo guy. Haven't even seen him in the show as I'm so behind. Don't worry, that's coming up. You've got time. Go straight on to Zenkaiger and definitely watch all the episodes up until now because it comes out next week, or at least this weekend, should we say. So
Yeah.
you've got time. Don't worry, you've got time. Even, like, screw it. Ignore the other episodes. As long as you've caught up with everything that Twokai is able to do, you don't need to worry about the other episodes just yet. Just make sure you watch this next one because it's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
say that, and then it's, oh God, what did we watch?
yeah.
And
To
it's
be fair,
nothing really good.
yeah, they did rush when they had Stacey's uh, Battle Caesar Robo. So yeah,
Mm.
but I think this is such a significant thing, and it's actually a toy, so I don't think we need to worry about the debut just as much.
Yeah, they're gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna spend at least 5 minutes making you want to buy this toy. Now you can buy it in the shops.
Yeah.
Huzzah!"
Right. So now we've gone through all of that. Let's actually talk about today's episode because I know we've always talked about our favorite characters. We've got something to look forward to during this weekend, or at least next weekend, next week,
Mm.
depending on when you watch it. Because obviously we have to wait for ways to watch it.
Yes.
But yeah. So this particular episode, episode 18, is generally about love. Now, this whole romance world conflict that we had in here was really kind of more of a filler episode as it seemed. Just because it
Mm.
was one of those episodes that was just a bit of fun, which is really nice to see. But it did have some nice little gimmicks to the whole romance world and its powers and abilities. What did you think of this particular foe, Mark?
I generally kind of thought it was a very weird foe because I don't know, like it's such a weird one, but he was able to immobilize pretty much every single person. And you kind of think that's what the bad guys want. They
Yeah.
want to be like, hey, you can't, we don't want them in the way so we can take over the world. If you literally turn around and had them all fall in love with different people, you literally, your plan's done right there.
Yeah.
Um, so he was kind of a unique character. I generally thought that, to be fair, this episode did actually make me laugh naturally. There was just little things in it that kind of made me giggle a lot. But for the monster itself, I felt like it was okay.
Yeah.
But I just felt like you could have gone right. We've beaten the Zenkaigers now.
Yeah.
We don't need to do anything else.
Mm. Yeah, I do think there were some funny moments in it that obviously made me laugh too. I think it's kind of like breaking the fourth wall kind of vibes as well. But we will have a look at those particular things that I've
Mm.
managed to capture for us, so we can dive into that in more detail. One thing I would like to discuss with everyone first is, although this does seem like a filler episode, there is a debut that if you don't think about it too hard, you miss it. You completely miss it, and that is the
Mm.
special attack for Kaiser. So this
Yes.
particular,
Well,
yeah,
there
this,
were two.
yeah, oh
There were
yeah,
two in this one.
yeah. So this particular attack, obviously, we always thought that the anchor attack that he was able to use, where he was targeting things and then firing afterwards, was his special. Turns out that wasn't the case. His actual special causes him to be literally riding on a ship.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of this when you first saw it? Did you realize this was a new, that his actual special, or did you think this was just another level, or did you not realize that we never had this before? What was your thoughts, Mark?
I saw it and I thought, "Do you know what, this is kind of cool." Like I knew that they were going to have a motif from Gokaiger. It would only make perfect sense.
Yeah,
So when he's on the boat, I was just like, "Yeah, I know this is special. It fits in really well with it." And I think even when he did the whole like slash, I just literally didn't think, "Oh, that's just a standard attack." I was instantly, that's the Gokai blast thing, like
yeah,
the Gokai gun or the Gokai saber. I was just like, do you know what? I like this. I hope that they use it, but I hope he uses it on his own.
yeah,
I think like that would be it.
yeah.
That would be
It's
great.
hard to tell whether it's activated because Zenkaiser was doing it with him, or whether it was just, by habit that it just happened to appear. So, yeah, I do think the cool thing about it, as you said, was that Gokai just slash thing. I like how it
Mm.
actually wasn't to do with a sword as much. I think it was the wheel, wasn't it? It was like a wheel blade sort of
Yeah.
like slash, which I think was really unique, and I loved that so much. And it does change it a bit. Um,
Mm.
but what did you think of the sort of like Gokai Galleon-esque environment they were placed in for that special attack? I think even Zenkaiser was surprised by that, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? I liked it. It generally, as I said, it fit the pirate motif all the way through. So to me, I was just like, do you know what? I can dig this one. So I was much more. I like it. I said, as I just said, I want him to use it on his own
Mm,
because I feel like maybe Kaito could have joined him later.
yeah.
This was just a very kind of, oh, this is a really weird one because Kaito doesn't have his own version. So,
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen two Kaiser just use it late on his at some point on his own or
Mm,
use this first.
yeah.
But I liked it. Pirate motif was good. It does remind me of the Gokai Galleon a bit, but like an upgraded version of it.
Yeah, you know what, actually, what I just realised, in fact,
Mm,
when you think of the whole sort of like situation with Zenkaiser, obviously we really wanted some more Gokaiger presence in this because Tsukaiser really is more about the Shinkenja and the O-Ranger stuff really at the moment,
mm.
especially seen in his mecha. Do you think, though, because of COVID, that this effect wasn't finished yet? So that's why it's so late. Do you think that's the reason why we're seeing it so late for a special attack from to Kaiser?
Not really, because I feel like even if the graphics weren't finished, when you're in COVID, I know what they do in Japan. They would carry on working,
Mm,
so you'd have a guy, or like a team of people going, right, we're going to 3D model this at home, or we've got work computers, and then it'll be uploaded. Because if that was the case, you've had what, how many episodes when did he debut to come in?
yeah,
It's been at least like maybe a month or two,
yeah,
and you kind of think that they would have had this to show off at the beginning. But again, I don't know why they haven't used it before.
yeah,
Maybe it wasn't ready in time, but I generally think that they would have been working on it. And then maybe thought, yeah, we can do this,
yeah.
because I guarantee
I,
they
s-
would have done it
I
all at home.
suppose that is true, but I think in certain parts of Japan, I don't know how big Toei generally is in the grand scheme of things. I know that obviously your work can be hindered if you don't have the best tools for the job. So having your high-end computer at work is one thing, but would they necessarily have a high-end computer at home to do this work? I think that is something that would significantly change their ability to create this particular visual because it is quite detailed. It's got nice lighting on it. It's it's combining the green screen and everything perfectly. So it would require both indoor and in person
Yeah.
and computer work in order to achieve.
I reckon they could have gone, come into the office and grab the computer, take it home with you, and we'll do it that way. The only thing I can think of is if they, in case like the files got hacked or something like that.
Mm,
But I generally think that you could have, like, some people could have worked at home on this, and knowing what like some people in Japan are like, I reckon that they would have just gone, yeah, we're taking it home, and or you can do it.
yeah.
And if they're like, oh, we can't do it because we haven't got computers, I reckon they would have gone, right, we'll buy you a computer,
Mm,
but then this comes back to the office when you've done, and we'll put it in storage or something, or
yeah.
we'll scrap it for parts.
I do think I love the visual in this though. I love the wheel attack. I love the slash. I love Zenkai's as part of it as well. I think that kind of
Mm.
adds to it in a way because it's like whoa, like even he's taken back, and which is kind of like a representation of how we feel when we see this sort of thing. So it's good
Mm.
that it's in there in a way. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
looks like they're actually on the Gokai Galleon.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the Gokai Galleon era. I think there is a few differences to it, especially scale wise. Like
yeah.
it's definitely a thinner base than the actual
Mm.
Gokai Galleon. Um, but yeah, I think it does good. I loved the flag at the beginning though. Like as soon as I saw that, I was
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
oh, that was
I liked it
it
a
was a
lot,
good.
to be fair.
And the fact the guy was just sitting at the bench, that was also weird. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Overall, that was a really good special attack from Two Kaiser. I hope we get to see it again. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
we will.
Right.
We will. They won't put all that time and work and be like, right, boys, one episode done. Never use
Yeah.
this ever again.
So yeah. Right. Back to the episode. I should probably talk about the overall thing. So, what ended up happening was at first it was Kaito's old school friend who um, Duran seemed to think that he probably had a crush on her in high school, but that
Yeah.
wasn't the case. Um, Eventually, obviously, Romance World appears, and from that point onwards, his effects started occurring when he used his arrow, causing everyone to have what can only be described as first contact love effects. So, like love at
Yeah.
first sight moments. The first one was obviously Juran and Gawan, which I thought is just so
Yeah.
silly. Like there was definitely some cinematic influences in this particular feature. What did
Mm.
you think of the sort of cinematic scene that Juran and Gawan had?
I generally thought it was like a J drama and stuff like that. I felt like they'd taken it all and gone, right, let's make them fall in love with each other. Let's do this, but do it in the style that we've seen in Japan,
Yeah,
where it's just like, you have the one character, you have one character that just turns around and goes like, yes, I will do anything for you, and it's like, oh, would you really? I'll do anything, and that's it. And I generally kind of liked it, so I think it didn't make me laugh out loud, but I generally liked like the pace for it all. It was it reminded me of a drama or like a love romance. I was like, do you know what? I'm happy with
yeah.
this.
Hearing their
Um,
insecure thoughts, that was hilarious.
yeah, yeah. I guarantee this episode, if Zenkaiger ever got adapted, which I don't think it would be, this episode would never get aired. I know it wouldn't,
Yeah.
which is a shame because it's such a good
Yeah, and
episode.
it's so funny in so many places. Like there was different over these moments. We had Zox obviously fall in love with someone who's a musician. We
Yeah,
had
imagine in Flint.
of course, Imagine and Flint. Yeah, how could I forget? That particular moment was hilarious too because of the way because Flint was crying because of Zock's infatuation made him seem a bit
Mm,
off. Even his brothers did not like that whatsoever.
yeah,
But then you also had Imagine trying to comfort
run.
her, and then out of nowhere
Yeah,
just bloomed. And then I actually paused when Yak Chan was coming in, and when Kaito was like, I hope there was no more moments, and then Yak Chan was presenting the food, and for a moment there I was like, don't fall in love with the
yeah.
grandma like that. That's just no. And then it went, oh, the ice cream. I was like, oh, thank God. That's like crossing the
Yeah,
lines there.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, please!" Like, I know what
Yeah,
Japan's like. Please don't make this. It would be really weird.
yeah,
So I'm loving the fact she's like, "Oh, look at it," and she's like, "Huh? What the hell?"
yeah,
But I think my favorite moment in this is when it just turns around and it's just like, this is the kids show, and I was like,
yeah.
brilliant. Like,
Let's go through that now. Yeah. So
it was
yeah,
my favorite thing.
I think that was such a good part too. Oh, hang on.
Is it not loading?
Oh, it
It was
is.
a
It
great
is.
fight.
Just
Okay.
got a little bit big for its boots. So yeah, yeah, easy there. This is a kids show.
Yeah,
I think it
this is
was
still a
Rune
kid
that
show.
said that as well, which is hilarious. But I like how
No,
was it?
it was Sekchan who said it.
Oh,
I think so,
of
yeah.
course he broke the fourth wall. He's always been breaking the fourth wall. That's so great. Um, but like Kaito doesn't even look like the same actor in this moment. Have you? I just noticed that. Look at Kaito. Is that him?
Yeah. Yeah, it is him. It's just literally he's never seen two ladies love each other.
He looks like he's. It looks like he. Are you sure it's the same actor? I swear it's
It,
different.
it'd be really weird to replace him with someone else for that one scene. No, it's definitely him.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had my vision. Okay, I'm gonna look into that later, but yeah, I think this was a great scene. This particular moment, it was even the brothers were like, what?
Yeah.
So this is obviously we are at the moment of Kaito loving the new invention of his grandma. Like Yak-chan, I'm guessing is brilliant at making sweet things, which is seen
Yeah.
throughout the show when she's making those concoctions. Stacy obviously turns up and enjoys it as well. I think that was a really lovely moment between them two. Um, but yeah, obviously we also had Kaito's school friend come by. Um, and both her and Rune have a romantic thing because they both love books. And
Yeah.
she's studying, she's doing school still, so kind of makes sense that she would be in that sort of inclined. But
Yeah.
yeah, what did you think of the moments between them two?
Generally was, I could see it happening, but then it was more, oh, I'm instantly jealous because you've mentioned that Kaito put a plaster on my finger, and he's like, "Did you love each other?" I'm like, "Oh, don't be this
Yeah,
guy,"
so
you know.
that's because of the effects of romance world. So obviously, as we've seen, they always take up the next level for these worlds because obviously it's supposed to be good or fairly bad to begin with, and then just
Mm,
escalates. In this particular episode, we had the escalation be the bad side of love. So
yeah.
all of the jealousy, judgments, and just the parts that don't click. That's what came through in this particular
Mm.
um, next stage. Um, so, which one of these fights did you think stood out the most?
I two Zox and Flint and Majin, because when they come up to the morph sequence, that's when you find out each one, like what it is.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that Zox is more like, if you love me, then why would you write this shitty little thing, and then rips it up? And I was just like, oh god, I can see some people like that.
Yeah.
And then when you saw Majin and thing, she's like, "Oh, get off me!" And she's like, "No, I still like you," type thing. But then when it came up to the thing where they're fighting, it was more like each one got their sort of stuff. So I liked Majin and things. It was like on the verge of breaking up, and I was just like,
Yeah, that was
"Oh
such a great
no!"
line.
It was just so weird.
I think it was funny how Gowon was jealousy power and
Yeah,
Shuran. I think Shuran was my favourite bickering power.
yeah,
That's so old school way of saying it, isn't it? Really, but we just call it fights nowadays.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, you even had that little Zenkaiger combination where they were like going through their levels of their disappointment. Um,
I know.
but
I loved it.
yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was
the
great.
crying effects were hilarious too, especially with Vroon as well when he was crying away. I love
Mm,
his logicness that doesn't become overbearing in this particular episode, because I think that's why he didn't get intoxicated as much. Like he was able to break through it in that way. But that's the kind of vibe I was getting. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think this was a really great episode with all of these different elements combined. Even the Megazord fight was pretty funny because it went through those stages that they went through straight off the bat. So obviously they're all used the ability to make them fall in love, and they were sort of all going for it, and they were all like
yeah,
finish me, which you should never shout in a pub. But
yeah.
like but the
But
yeah I like how it the tables turned when they were like, which one do you love more? And at that point, I would have just walked away. Yeah.
yeah,
Because that's when they
but
were like, and then douche, finishing like instantly. Did you think that was a
but
funny
did you?
moment?
I did. I again, like Megazord stuff. I like the whole thing of like, oh, we're getting a two time and stuff like that. I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll go with that one. But the Megazord fight didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
It was more kind of, it was such a weird one of
It
doing.
was just to wrap it
Uh,
up, weren't it, really? Tighten the bow.
yeah. But the question is, did you get the biggest reference of them all in that one?
Oh,
In the whole of thing, the biggest reference that took 3 minutes ish to do.
oh, do you mean that? Are you talking about the power up, or are you talking about?
The power up
Yes.
was like,
So that's what we're gonna go into here. So,
yeah.
oh, I'm not even there. That's okay.
Megazord
I'm still
fights,
here.
meh, it's fine, but the reference was the best part. I actually saw the full reference to what it was, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is great!"
Yeah, sorry, I'm just very thin right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that was hilarious how the sorry, I'm just like a sliver right now. But
yeah,
I love how the actual particular like reference to um this
Jetman.
gear, yeah, Jetman, sorry. I was stuck there for a second, I'm not gonna lie. Um But yeah, Jetman was really, really good, and I'm surprised that that was the power, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad it is, because other than the flight power, which was kind of used already by um, Zhuoja's
Mm.
gear, I didn't really know what else could really represent Jetman. But then you think of Black Condor and his romantic afflictions and the episode reference that you're talking about in this
Yeah.
particular gear. I do think that was pretty funny because obviously you had this wedding ceremony going on. They're missing their best friend, which was, and each one was playing a role, and the best friend just
Mm.
happened to be um,
From
Romance World. So,
oh yeah, Romance Sword. Yeah.
and then Vroom
Um,
was the one that delivered the attack and the slash that ended
yeah.
him. Um,
I think so. I think what got me in that one is when he goes mini pickaxe. I'm like, okay, I can understand that's where they're going with. And then when he's like, it's suddenly big. I was like, that got me. That made me start laughing.
yeah.
Um,
Go.
but they even showed the smoking part, which I generally didn't think that they would show
Mm,
when I looked back at it. And I love the fact that it was his rose and it was smoking. It's just like that's how they got around it.
yeah.
And I generally just thought, do you know what? You've actually done an entire. This is the best power that I've seen so far. This is what made the episode so good.
Yeah, it was so. The weirdest thing for me in this particular episode is Gowon dressed as the mother-in-law.
Yeah,
um,
it's like even two Kaiser, where you saw like he was like, "Oh, my purse has been taken."
yeah,
I generally was like, I thought he may have been the villain, like what Vox was, not Vox, Vrum was going to
yeah,
be, and I generally thought, oh, that would be kind of cool, but no, I generally liked how they all kind of they played all of it off, which is absolutely fine.
yeah. It's like a classic
Um,
It was like, well, classic drama in general, actually, not just Japanese, but it was kind of that sort of scenario that was represented for Jetman coin. Sorry, Jetman
yeah.
gear, not coin. Um, but yeah, I think the only thing that kind of topped that was the slap mark that I saw on Zox's face when they
Oh,
had that
that
fight.
was fun.
That was. And they pointed out the fact that he's used too much.
Mm. I
But
generally
yeah,
thought it
it was
was going to be
funny.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really weird. Like the hat, like obviously the hand looked massive,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, here's like three finger. Like it was thin. I was like, are they like that completely?
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Um,
I do think that was kind of like what I think was missing from Zenkaiger in this way, because
mm,
seeing Zox go over the top and being slapped as a result of it, I think that would have been a cool thing to include the whole throwaway through. It
yeah.
might get a little bit repetitive, but I do think it would have been hilarious.
Mm.
Especially if Flint was a younger sister rather than an older sister who does that sort of thing. So, but yeah, this was a brilliant episode though. I quite enjoyed it. I don't think there's any
It's
particular in it other than it's not really supposed to be a serious episode. So, you know,
no,
it's a fun
it was
episode.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
how we
mean,
got Stacy in it though, and he's visiting Yak Chan. Was about to have had ice cream, but then it said it was on obviously Kaito, and the only interesting thing that we had developed for him was that he noticed the picture of Kaito's parents. What did you think
yeah.
of this particular moment?
I think it shows more because it wouldn't surprise me if now we're gonna get he's the one, that's my family as well,
Mm,
which means then Stacy's part of the family, and then that would be a thing that comes into it. So
mm,
it wouldn't surprise me if that's the role that they're going down, which would be easy enough to kind of find.
mm.
Um, but it just kind of it doesn't. If this is the case, it doesn't give you much of imagination.
No, no.
I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh no, I was
Yeah,
surprised.
I would actually. I think the way they're sort of trying to do it is that Barashitara and maybe Kaito's mum actually made him rather than
Mm.
like like a normal child would be conceived. I think they genetically made him. I think that's probably
Here's
what
a
has happened.
here's a plot twist for you.
Yeah.
What happens if Stacy was the real kid and Kaito was the robot?
Oh, mind
Oh!
blown. Oh my god.
How cool would that be?
That would be
If
insane.
they did that.
But there was
I
there was a young kid in the picture, and that would blow my that would hurt my mind.
but
Oh
but
god.
that would be Stacy.
Yeah.
That wasn't Kaito. In fact, Kaito was the fact that he was rebuilt, and there's therefore, hang on, Stacy has amnesia. Dun dun dun, and then they go, "Oh, if I'm right on that one."
That'd be so funny. But yeah, I do think the next episode is definitely going to be the one we're going to want to watch so badly, which is why, Richard, if you're still there, watch it with us.
Yeah,
But like,
damn it, Richard,
even
watch
I
it.
hope the gear's kind of like mini Tira from Kyoryuger, because it does look like he could probably move around on his own.
Mm.
But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, as Richard has pointed out during the show, it's so cool how they've mixed V-Rex with Dragon Caesar. But yeah, like I said, different representations, hopefully more's to
Mm.
come. But we're almost halfway through the season, most likely, because
Yeah,
I mean, maybe most likely, maybe not, because usually every season of Super Sentai is about 50 episodes, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyway,
yeah.
episode review. Well, sorry, rating. What do we give this particular episode? How many gears?
I want to give it a 4.
Yeah?
A very strong 4. I would say 5 because of the Jetman. Do you want
Yeah.
to know? I'm going to give it a 5 for this one.
Yeah, 5. Blimey.
Because when we were talking, I quickly looked at the reference
Yeah.
and they got it shot for shot. Even when like you see Vron go, whoa, like it was the exact same arm movements as the guy. The only slight difference is when he attacks him, it's slightly different.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it a 5. I want to give it more of a 4, but for the Jetman reference, we'll give it a 5.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is good. Yeah, the different references. There is some secret things in it, as you stated. So I think it probably. I mean, I would give it a 4. However, because of what you said about that particular scene, doing it scene by scene, and it being representative of a Sentai team, I think it just pushes that little bit
Yeah.
extra. It may not be a strong Zenkaiger episode, but it's definitely a strong anniversary episode. So I think for that very reason, we are giving it a 5.
Can you imagine? Right, they do. Oh, I reckon this is what we're going to do. So we've had the Jetman reference. We've had
Yes.
the thing. Do you what happens if they do it? They call on Jew Ranger and they do the dying scene, and then that's how they get the Caesar thing.
Oh god.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love that. I'd be like, freaking hell, that's amazing.
I think that the most interesting gear we'll probably see in this particular episode, I mean, like series, sorry, is probably the Car Ranger gear, because in the Gokaiger, the only thing they had for their true power was traffic safety, which is which even Navi said, well, it was bound to be one useless
Yeah.
team, but like, yeah, that's obviously supposed to be a humorous one. Jetman's gear obviously was a serious Sentai and had a silly-esque effect. So it'll be interesting to see if Car Ranger actually has a serious tone for their power. That would be pretty awesome to see. But we'll just have to wait.
I just imagine them holding up stop signs and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I think it would be. I honestly think it would be the ability to control movement. So it'd be like, you stop, you go, stop, go.
Yeah, I can see that
That would
happening.
be so cool if that was the case. And makes it so much better. Jetman for the win, yeah. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers everything on Sentai Wrap Up today. So thank you so much, Mark, for joining me, and so sorry everyone for the technical difficulties we had while we was trying to get this stream up. Obviously, this was a bit of a fight, but I hope you enjoyed the stream nonetheless. So, where can everyone find you on social media, Mark?
Everywhere bar Twitter as Airlim and Twitter as Mainstream Life. How about you, kind sir?
Everywhere you can find me on, well, generally just Instagram and Twitter. You can find me as @Henshin Asset. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, see you much for next week, my guys. Hopefully we'll sort it out and find out the next episode. I'm so excited for the next episode. I can't tell you. So yeah, thanks God we got a new debut. So until next time, bye.
Bye.
See yours.